I'd like to talk about why I took a break. So my last episode was with Jordan Melendez. I really enjoyed that episode. Jordan's an awesome guest. I can't wait to have him back on. Weed is now legal here in Illinois, so it will be nice for him to kind of talk about what that first day was like, and I look forward to bringing him back on for that. And yeah, so on my last episode, I did hint at, some changes coming that would allow me to do this more. And luckily enough for me, those changes did come to fruition, but it did leave me with a period of transition and a period of not posting content, as well as just it being the holidays and it just seeming like not the best time to kickstart everything again. So I got a new job. I was very frustrated with my last job by the end of it. Not the entire time, it was great. It was great when I first got to it, and it was great even for like a year after that. But then it did get to a certain point where I was like, all right, this is starting to hinder me. It used to help me, and it used to give me resources and money and relieve some financial stress, which I was initially under when I first moved here because of the cost of living and not having a proper job for a little bit. And there was a lot of transitions involved when I first moved here. But when I finally got stable and I got to a point where I'm like, all right, cool. My money's right again. I'm in a good spot. I'm making enough money. I got health insurance, all these other things, took care of a bunch of shit. I eventually got to the point where it started getting in the way. It actually started actively stopping me from recording episodes due to the randomness of the schedule. I'd be working at 8 o'clock one day, 9 o'clock another day, 11 o'clock another day after that. And it just was too much. It honestly was too much. And so on top of the fact that the schedule was horrible and that there was no consecutive days in a row off, like I'd have to ask off. If I wanted Saturday, Sunday, I'd have to ask that off. If I wanted 2 days in a row, period, even if it was Monday, Tuesday, that would be something that I would either get very, very lucky with the schedule, or I would ask it off in advance to make sure that I got that. And that just was not sustainable for me. I felt like I never had a break. So I'd be working and I'd have working one day and working another. And then I'd get a day off, and then I'd have to work like 3 days, and then I'd get another day off. And it was like, okay, cool, I got my day off. Oh, I got to go grocery shopping. Oh, I got to do laundry. Oh, I got to clean the apartment or, whatever. And so it's just like, it never felt like I truly was able to unplug. And I think one of the biggest realizations I had was when I first went to Colorado, and I went with Joey and his girlfriend, Sarah, and we had an amazing time. I mean, it really was the best vacation I've ever had in my life. The most fun. It was relaxing. The weather was beautiful. The scenery was incredible. The heavy mommies were born. What you guys are, my fans, the heavy mommies. I'm calling you guys the heavy mommies, and I love it, and I think it's so funny. And I hope it doesn't actually offend anybody. I'm not talking about overweight moms. I'm literally talking about heavy mommies. We embody that big, bold, beautiful, fucking proud, powerful, awakened human beings. Some heavy mommy shit is some beautiful, like seeing mountain peaks and watching the sunset and just living a baller life while relaxing and enjoying just existence itself. That's some heavy mommy shit. So just so you guys know. But it was the birth of the heavy mommies. It was the birth of, me wanting to really focus on traveling more moving forward and putting more money towards experiences rather than things. I've spent quite a bit of money on things in the last several years. And these are things, these were investments. These were not things just for fun. I mean, I bought things for fun too, but a lot of the stuff that I bought and I put money towards has been production value stuff. The lights that are lighting me right now, the gimbal that's holding my phone, even that phone was something that I considered as an investment in something that I was going to use making content moving forward. So I really now want to focus more on spending money on experiences, traveling, and seeing the world. And starting with America first, because, hey, it's way cheaper and there's still a lot to see here. So I really wanted to focus on those things. And I was realizing like the kind of life that I could have if I really was able to start putting more eggs in the basket of content creation and film and shooting things. And when I came back to reality, and I was already frustrated with my job, and I was already frustrated with my time and my schedule and feeling like I was spread thinner than ever, I eventually hit a point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. But like I still had to work. I wasn't going to quit my job. Like I had to keep making money. I still have bills to pay. And so I was feeling trapped. And I was so lucky to have been lent a hand by Daniel, who's been on my podcast twice now, who one day I'm going to have him on the podcast and I'm not going to talk too fucking much. Now, in my defense, Daniel is a quiet guy. So I just have to be smarter about when I draw the line on when I stop talking. So I apologize in advance for any times you guys might have listened to that and been like, shut the fuck up, Kevin, because I feel the same way when I listen to it. Hopefully it's not that bad, but you know what I mean. So he lent me the opportunity to apply to a job at the place that he went. And he used to work with me in retail. And he eventually got a job with them and was really loving it. And he was really liking the company and liking the culture. And he was like, you know what? We have an opening. You should come apply. And I'll refer you. So I was like, all right, okay, cool. And luckily, you know, he's getting a referral bonus for it. So, you know, he benefits from it too. But I'm super happy to be able to help him get that. But he really gave me a lease on life. He gave me an opportunity to get out in a way that was really easy. I didn't have to worry about fucking applying to a bunch of jobs and going through a ton of interviews and not sure about whether the company is a good fit or not. You know, he saved me and streamlined that process for me. And, you know, just like that, it all happened kind of quickly. It was about like a month-long interview process, and I got this job. And this job is way less mentally taxing. It's a little more physically taxing, but I honestly needed it because as I alluded to in the Jordan podcast, I was feeling like I was gaining weight and I was feeling unhealthy and like I wasn't working out enough. And I love that I'm on my feet for this job. And I get like 12,000 steps a day and everything. So it's awesome. It's got a little more physical fitness included in it, but a lot less mental fitness, which is great because I don't want to come home mentally drained and then being unable to edit or do some of the other creative stuff that I want to do. And so this job gives me Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and it gives me my weekends. So I get weekends, I get 2 days in a row, which I can do things like this, record this podcast. This is a Saturday that I'm recording this. And it allows me to kind of have not only my day of productivity and like doing chores and laundry and groceries and all that stuff, but then also having a day of actually unplugging. And I recently got an Xbox because it was like super cheap to buy an Xbox. And I even got the new Jedi Fallen Order game. I barely played it, so I really can't comment on that yet. But I did buy the Master Chief Collection, and I've been, you know, I always enjoyed Halo growing up. And so it's been really fun to play Reach online since they just like updated Reach. They just put it on the Master Chief Collection, and it's been a lot of fun. I've actually been FaceTiming with Brad, who's also on my podcast. He's a childhood friend of mine. He's honestly like, he's like my brother, dude. We go way back, but we weren't insanely close in the really young days, even though we like, you know, we're in class together in elementary school. But we really like bonded in middle school, and we really bonded in high school, and like really senior year, I feel like was when we really became like best friends. And he's somebody who now I can connect with and like we'll text each other, be like, yo, Reach tonight. And then we'll FaceTime while we're playing Reach, and then we'll connect in the game, obviously. And it's been a lot of fun. So overall, my life is like way more chill. It's way more relaxing. And, I feel so much more energized. I'm getting more sleep. I'm currently on a tea break from cannabis, which I know is funny because it just was legalized here in, Illinois. But I honestly didn't want to deal with the lines, and the prices are kind of ridiculous. So I've been taking a break from weed, and it actually goes back to that trip that I had that I talked about, my heroic dose that I did this past summer, which really alluded to a lot of things. It really alluded to, I think, like understanding like that I was not using weed in the best way. And I knew that. And then I went to Colorado, and then I kind of like fucked it up. And then I came back, and then I was depressed and not happy about the situation. And I was leaning on it as a crutch. And it's funny how weed is like that for me, where I seem to just always use it wrong. I don't know what it is, but I seem to not have good self-control with it. If I have it in the house, I always can like rationalize to myself that it's cool to do it at night. I don't know why. And it's not like it's that big of a deal. I've used it way worse. Like I've 100% used it way worse. And in fact, really ever since I moved to Chicago, like my use of it has still been way better than it used to be in college. But it's still, you know, I just think I use it too much, and I lean on it too much to relax, and I think I need to learn how to relax without it. And so I've already been on a tea break this month, and it's been nice. It's been a nice break. I'm going to be honest, I don't feel that different. I almost never do when I take a huge break from weed. It's never that different. I remember my dreams more, but that's probably about it. But I know that it's a good thing for me to not use it as an excuse to like fuck off. You know, the resistance is clever, as Stephen Pressfield would say in his book, The War of Art. And it is, and it's clever. And for me, weed is part of the resistance. I think another part of the resistance for me is YouTube. I definitely waste way too much time on YouTube. And so those things were things that were getting in my way, on top of the fact that I was feeling stressed about my job. And so now that I have this new job that gives me a way better schedule, my work-life balance is better, I'm going to the gym, I'm healthier, I've lost like 7 or 8 pounds, and I feel like it's very noticeable. And I think it's going to only continue to fall off because, like I said, this job is way more active. And I just feel better. Honestly, I just feel better. I feel better and happier. It is not that this job is perfect or that I'm not stressed sometimes at work, but I definitely don't come home with that stress. And that kind of stress is honestly still not as bad as the stress that I felt at my last job. So all things considered, nothing's perfect, but it's exactly what I need right now, which is awesome. Not to mention the people that are there are awesome too. So, you know, I left a lot of really good people at my last place, and I miss them. I still miss them to this day. I miss seeing them every day. But I really just don't miss that environment. So it's really nice to have that separation. So now that we've gotten through kind of the little update here, because I don't want to spend forever talking about my life,